Welcome back everyone to our first Borderlands 4 build video. We're going to be creating a build for my man Amon. This build is all about having our forge drones up as well as dealing a lot of single target damage, giving you the possibility of one-shotting bosses, but it is also about just having a ton of fun and mobbing really well with this. The class mod is the entire part of this build called Blacksmith. This drops from Vile Lictor. It reads, kill skill partially restores all active forge drones duration. For each active forge drone, Amon deals increased damage. This class mod allows us to get a lot of forge drones without having to invest any skill points into it, so we can invest those points elsewhere. It is so nice, and I've had so much fun with this build. We're going to start this build with level 16. First, we're going to put 5 points into cast iron to get increased force skill cooldown rate and gun handling. At max, this will give us 25% force skill cooldown rating and 30% gun handling. From there, we're going to put 5 points into executioner. Amon gains increased critical hit damage, and this effect is doubled for a duration after dealing melee damage. After that, we're going to put 5 points into bolt action. Whenever Amon reloads, his gun gains bonus shock damage for a duration. This is 30% at max level. So from here, we're level 16 and we unlock the Searing Cold augment. This is what you're going to put on until around level 30, when you could potentially be getting legendary class mod. But until you get the legendary class mod, just stick with Searing Cold. This allows us to have our frost axes instantly freeze enemies and can freeze pretty much every enemy in the game aside from some bosses. There are a few bosses that can get frozen though. Splash Zone, for example, he gets insta frozen. So this one is really nice. It allows you to insta freeze those enemies, walk up to them, and have a really easy critical hit shot on them. From here, we're going to now put 5 points into Bellows. Whenever we activate our forge skill, we gain increased gun damage for a duration. We're at max level, we're going to get 35% gun damage for 8 seconds, and our forge skill is the double edge. Sometimes it can get confusing between the forge skill and the action skill with Amon, but his action skill is his dual axes that you can throw at enemies, and his forge skill is the hold action skill. Now, from here, we're going to put our final 2 points that are going into the green tree. We're going to put 1 point into Tempered Pyre because this unlocks twin tempers. So anytime we activate our forge skill, we're now going to spawn a cryo and an incendiary axe that goes around and does damage. Now we're going to move over to the red tree here. This has some of the best passives for Amon in the game, which is why we're building into this tree as well. Now, by the time we dive into the red tree, you're going to be around level 23. So the first thing we're going to do is put 5 points into What Burns Within to give us increased incendiary damage. This will put us at level 28. And to get to level 30, we're going to put 2 points into Gut Punch. Once you hit 31, put that last point into Gut Punch. This is one of his best passives in the game. Melee and ordnance damage have a chance to apply weakness to enemies for a duration. Weakened enemies deal reduced damage and take increased damage. Weakness is affected by status effect duration and is itself considered a status effect. Our melee has a 60% chance to apply weakness, while our ordnance has a 30% chance. Enemies deal 40% less damage and take 20% more damage, and this lasts for 8 seconds. So this is what your build will look like at level 30. Now, when we start moving up to level 50, this is where we're going to change back to Endless War. Primed enemies take increased gun damage for each stack of prime. If Amon detonates a primed enemy, a new forge axe is spawned that seeks out a nearby enemy. Gun damage taken is 15% per prime stack, and the cooldown is 2 seconds. If you don't know what priming an enemy means, it just basically means throwing an axe at them. Anytime they are hit by an axe, they will be primed for a duration. They're primed for 10 seconds, and the maximum amount of prime you can put on an enemy is 10 stacks. Now, for the rest of the build here, we're going to put 2 points into Wield the Storm to unlock this lowered branch here, putting 1 point into Forged in Steel, another one of Amon's best passives in the game. Amon becomes immune to all damage for a brief duration anytime we activate a Forge skill. Then we're going to put 5 points into Bullet Storm. Whenever Amon applies a status effect, he gains increased gun damage for a duration. So this could be weakness, this could be prime. Now we're going to take advantage of two different branches here. We're going to put 5 points into Berserk. Whenever Amon activates his Forge skill, he becomes Berserk for a duration, gaining slow immunity and bonus cryo damage with gun damage and melee damage. This is 30% bonus cryo damage for 15 seconds anytime we activate our Forge skill. Then we're going to put 1 point into There Is Only Red, which is a kill skill. Whenever Amon kills an enemy while Berserk is active, partially restore Berserk's duration and increase bonus cryo damage from Berserk. This allows us to get 20% more bonus cryo damage every single kill with a maximum of 200% bonus cryo damage. Now from here, our final 5 points are going to go into Dragon's Breath. Whenever Amon activates his ordnance, his next gunshot is converted to incendiary damage, staggering damaged enemies and gaining increased damage dealt. Bosses cannot be staggered and badasses have a chance to be staggered. At max, this is a 100% damage increase. This is what our skill tree will look like. And with the passives gained from our class mod, we get 2 points into Tempered Pyre, 2 points into Tempered Lightning, which is a Forgedrone skill. And then anytime we activate our action skill, we spawn a Sword Forgedrone, dealing shock melee damage. And then we also get 2 points into Tempered Ice, which is another Forgedrone skill. Whenever we activate our Ordnance, we spawn a Hammer Forgedrone that attacks nearby enemies, dealing cryo melee damage. So now we have 2 cryo melee damage Forgedrones, an incendiary, and a shock Forgedrone for a total of 4 Forgedrones on the battlefield. And then finally, we get a point into Masterwork, which gives us increased damage and duration for our Forgedrones. Now let's move on to the gear that you can pair with this build to make it the best possible version of itself. Obviously, we have the class mod here, Blacksmith. For the rep kit, you want to have something with amp on it. On use, grants increased damage of the next shot by 200%. With the ordnance, you want to have a throwing knife. I don't have this roll, but you want one that makes your next shot deal critical hit damage anywhere, and you can get one that makes the enemy take increased critical hit damage. That combo is absolutely insane on a grenade ordnance for your throwing knife. If you have it, put it on and utilize it, because you can do some insane damage with this. For the shield, you can use whatever you'd like. I prefer to use the fireworks shield because it's so good and allows you to just nuke the battlefield more. And if your Forgedrones get a kill, that'll work activated as well. For your enhancement, put something with Jacob's on it, because Jacob's weapons are the best to pair with this build, specifically Jacob's shotguns. If you can get one like I have with gun critical hit damage increased by 50%, and another bonus is gun equip speed by 100%, that one will pair really well with some stuff that we want to get on weapons. For the actual perk on the enhancement, you can grab whatever you want. My favorite one with the Jacobs ones is Piercer, as it allows us to have a 20% chance to deal critical hit damage anywhere. Now let's move to the weapons. The best possible thing that you could have for this build to do the most single target damage is a shotgun with the spread launcher alt fire. That is so strong. It is probably the strongest alt fire in the game, and shotguns with 2 in the mag as well will allow you to constantly have that bonus shock damage. And that's the reason why I want the gun equip speed, because that allows us to switch to our alt fire really fast. Moving over to the specializations part, the best thing for this would be to go for Killer, which is critical hit damage and status effect damage increase. Get there by putting points into Brute, and Sharpshooter, which gives us reload speed, which is great for Jacob's shotguns with 1 shot in the magazine, and then increased gun damage from Brute. The ones that I have active right now are Lead or Alive. Whenever entering Fight for Your Life, all guns are automatically reload and you gain increased fire rate. CQC, melee damage grants the Vault Hunter increased fire rate for a duration. Contamination, critical hits grant status effect application chance, which is 10% per stack at a max of 10 stacks. And then 1 shot, 1 kill. Kill skill, excess gun damage will be stored and added to your next gunshot. This one is amazing because of how much damage your shotguns can do. If you're one-shotting enemies while ramping up the damage from Berserk and other things in this build, you can just start to build up so much excess damage. You're just going to keep blowing through enemies. Now, here is how you'd want to deal damage to a single target. The first thing, you come in, activate your Twin Forge Axe, Throw ordnance, activate your skill, throw. Now you have 3 stacks of prime. Rep kit, 4 million damage right there. You get the throwing knife that allows them to take more critical hit damage really good. If we see here, I'll just let them go to work, and you can just see the amount of damage that they can deal. This is without me shooting them. They're just hanging out, dealing damage. It got up to 50,000 damage. I mean, the twin axes by themselves dealing single target damage is really good. If you don't have to do anything and they can just deal damage themselves. It's super fun to use. Now, that's the entire build. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. This is my first actual in-game build for Borderlands, so if you got anything that you'd want to see me, if anything I missed, or if you have any pointers, or you just want to tell me I'm an idiot, or you want to yell at me, whatever it may be, do it. I'm trying to learn, trying to get better at this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the build. Hope you guys enjoy having fun with this. If you use it, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any improvements for it, let me know as well. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.